Adventurers make plans. Worlds deal with the fallout. The folks at Good Plans, Bad Dice present a new live play podcast using the Dungeons & Dragons 2024 5e rules. We blend chaos, sincerity, dark moments, and inclusive storytelling. Welcome to the world of Good Plans, Bad Dice.
Previously on Fractured Fables, Everett sat down for what could have been a very simple dinner with Liam Hudson and leaves with a patron, a pact, and the unsettling news that her missing 3 days might actually be an entire missing persona trapped in a pocket plane. Liam offers help, but only if Everett agrees to find a mysterious woman he's been hunting. One invisible contract later, sealed with a chill of grave dirt and earth beneath her feet, Everett walks away with new powers and a dangerous new ally. Meanwhile, Charlie, Ami, and Siddy push Professor Leland Shorts into the brink while digging into his theory that the cataclysm wasn't an accident. It was planned. Cornered, desperate, and determined to prove he's serious, Leland does the unthinkable. He cuts off his own left hand to give the party access to his hidden lab inside the college. Everett returns to find the party mid-medical emergency and full of new secrets. New powers, missing personas, a severed hand. Will this party manage to infiltrate the college? Will they even make it home in one piece? Or will literally anything they do end in another fight? Or another body? Find out on this episode of Fractured Fables.
This is exactly where we're picking up. Leland is no longer in your area to speak with. I wanted that clear before we started because he doesn't trust a few of you and I don't trust a few of you. Now I will say at that point, you are going to have a very short amount of time before this door opens and someone comes inside. So I will give the four of you a brief amount of time to ask questions, anything like that. Charlie, before any of that happens, you have heard the Nothics again. You do not know what they're saying. Morty is in your ear being like, oh, Charlie, they're back. He let them come back. Charlie, they're going to follow us home. I know it. Oh, Charlie, it's terrible. And also that professor's bums aren't even worth looking at. Charlie, I hate it. I can't even look at nice bums. I have to be tortured by these creepy things and ugly buns, Charlie. And all of you notice without rolling the glass that was set down that was empty in front of the empty seat next to Charlie that Liam set down almost looks like it has little lip prints on it as though someone has drank something out of it, but it is still an empty glass. And Charlie, the glass is empty. It did have something that you saw in it before. It is now gone.
I mean, we're both getting tortured by them, so yeah. So I think we all need to have a conversation, but it seems like we need to get out of here real fast.
Siddy is shoving the Tupperware into her tote because she doesn't want to have to explain that.
Everett just looks really confused. When she left, the professor had two hands, and now he doesn't. And Charlie is still talking to somebody that we have been told is called Morty, but...
Liam did say in front of all of you that he did drop the bomb that Charlie can see fucking ghosts. He just outright said it in front of everyone, and he has mentioned Morty as well. He said that pretty aggressively.
Right. Still. And she also has questions that she doesn't want to answer, so she's just kind of standing there like, I would really like to get the fuck out of here, is the look on her face. Do with that what you will.
All right, then. Last but not least, is Ami doing anything or has any questions or anything to say kind of before this door opens?
I don't believe so. I think she's just kind of thinking through everything that's just happened up until this point. Kind of like, because she's gotten to the point where she's like calmed down a bit from her rage. She's taken in everything. I mean, she's not like completely obtuse. Sometimes she is, but like not all the time. So she is taking everything. She understands that there's a very heavy burden. And then she's also thinking a lot about the implications with her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So she's being very like, yeah. So she's just taking it all in and just thinking about ways that she can avoid ever seeing her ever again.
Yeah. And I know we discussed it last time. While Ami is probably the youngest out of everyone here, I think Charlie is the next kind of youngest. I think based off of, we're looking at this in D&D terms, that while they might be like half elf, it's kind of the way that they mature. So even though they might be older than like Everett or Siddy, maturity wise is a little bit less, if that makes sense. And we've all kind of discussed like Ami is a full adult, but she's basically closer to like your 20-year-old or, 21-year-old. She's still pretty young. Charlie falls a little bit older than that, but not insanely much more. Whereas I think you can more look at like Siddy and Everett as adults mentally. This is the excuse I'm also giving Charlie right now because she might have earned it. As this happens, the door comes open again and Liam walks in. He has he has added kind of like that cape kind of back on and almost like a scarf. And it looks like it's a little bit cold outside. He's not covered in snow or anything, but you see just kind of the magical barrier start to kind of fade off the thing. And, he comes in followed by none other than Lukewarm Tea. And after Lukewarm Tea, Seymour Buttwipe walks in, who I don't think anyone knows his name officially. You've heard Seymour based off of IP and everyone else talking to him. You don't fully know his name. And then the one, the only Julian Sterling walks in and kind of takes his hat off. And they all look at you and Liam kind of smiles and is like, right, now, I did promise all of you that I would keep you out of prison, and I do stand by that. So please do not assume that these gentlemen are here to escort any of you to prison. They are not. They're here to make sure you get home safely. They volunteered, actually. It was not requested, as IP is relatively pissed right now, and she has gone off to try and see if she can win this battle with me. Please don't worry, she can't. She never has, and she never will. So, I hope all of you ladies have a lovely night. I hope you rest so well. And I hope that you all figure out what your good plans are for the morning, as I'm sure they're going to be wonderful. And he just kind of holds out an arm and he goes, Everett, darling, would I be so kind as to be able to escort you home?
I would be delighted. And she will go with him.
Perfect. So they will head out the door, and we had Lukewarm after, and Lukewarm kind of just goes, yeah, you, and points at Charlie, and he's like, I think that we probably need to maybe talk about some stuff a little bit, so it'd be nice if I could kind of walk. I think we're on the same way anyways, so if we could stroll, that would be pretty cool.
All right, sounds good.
You hear Morty go, oh, damn it, Charlie, he's married. I was hoping for the ones with the buns, Charlie. Should have said no. You should have said Mr. Glass of Water. Charlie, get it together. You're failing us all. And he just kind of huffs, and you hear in the background something completely different. You kind of hear, I think you hear well enough, you hear Liam saying as he walks out the door to Everett, right, darling, now I promised that I wouldn't do anything horrible, but I am going to say I left Charlie just the slightest present that she's going to love. And Charlie, you're smart enough to know that he wanted you to hear this. And all of a sudden you hear, ha 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 ha, she can understand us. Oh no. And you hear Morty go, oh my God, Charlie, they actually speak. And then you just hear giggling and hear, oh Fred, this is going to be so much fun. And you hear, oh Drick, it's going to be more fun than you ever could imagine. And then you see right in front of you two Nothics with their eyes having been stabbed out violently by people, just ghost goo dripping and just creepy lipless teeth, as Charlie has met not one, but two new ghost friends to join her and Morty along in their adventures. And they just go, all right, Charlie, let's start heading home because I need an extra big bed. Drick and I like to sleep next to each other. I hope your bed's big enough for the three of us, Charlie. Drick goes, oh, Fred, I'm a big spoon. You're going to have to be little spoon. Charlie can be in the middle the whole time. And they just kind of start cackling. And Lukewarm looks at you and is like, are you ready to head out, or what's going on? And he's kind of looking around like he has the heebie-jeebies a little bit.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. Fuck's sake. Let's go.
All right. So then Lukewarm, Charlie, Morty, Fred, and Drick all head out the door together. Everyone can only see Charlie and Lukewarm, except for Charlie, who can see these Nothics who, no matter which way you seem to look, they seem to have found a way to make sure that you knew that they used to have an eye to stare at you with, and it is just there watching you as they kind of do that weird Cenobite thing. If you know Hellraiser, where the one like chatters his teeth the whole time, they just kind of sit there and chatter their teeth at you. And it's a weird mix of spooky and also kind of hilarious because they're trying to be intimidating ghosts and they can do absolutely nothing to you but annoy you. So you all begin to kind of head your way. You would probably see Everett and Liam walk off in a direction that you didn't expect. Can you roll me either a history or an insight since you're second out the door? Oh, I've broken Trekkie again. I'm sorry. That's for Charlie, by the way. History or insight? You roll that for me really quick. That's for Charlie. You're next out the door.
Sorry.
I'm breaking you quicker than planned tonight.
You did.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm terribly sorry. I was typing a message. I was like, oh. 18 for history.
Perfect. You notice that Liam specifically said that they were going to escort everybody to their homes. You don't necessarily know where everyone lives. You know that Siddy's owned a business. You know that Ami owns a business. You own a business. You probably have an idea. You know where Siddy's new storefront is. You know where Ami's business is based off what Ami does. So you have a decent guess that they're probably about the same like wealth class as you. Like none of you are poor. None of you are rich, if that makes sense, right? Like you all probably have, like you have your shop with your nice home above it. You know that Siddy has a cottage. You kind of assume that Ami lives in something similar. Everett and Liam are walking to the wealthiest part of town currently, which seems slightly strange if he had said that that they're all escorting everyone home. I will let you do with what you want. I just wanted you to be aware that you notice the direction they are heading is not to the poor side of town where people don't know whose blood is on their clothes and don't know how to grow their own vegetables. Is something that you've noticed. You also don't know if they are going to Everett's or his place. You're not aware. You just notice they are heading into what some might call the rich people town, the rich folks area where they don't let the poors in. Next, we had Seymour. Seymour is going to look at Ami and just kind of take like a calm breath and just go, Ami, I don't know much about you. We fought side by side, which earns a lot of respect with me. My name is Seymour. I am of the Butt Wipes. We have an initiative. You've helped us with some of the buildings and things like that. And I overheard some things that you said, and I was hoping we might be able to talk a little bit on a walk home. I do not think you need my protection, as I have fought with you, and I am well aware you can take care of yourself. I was just hoping we could chat for a few minutes.
Yes, I believe that would be fine. Mr. Liam said that we should just go, and I'll go with you.
And he's just going to kind of nod, and as you walk out the door, he's going to say, I don't want you to believe that my association is with Mr. Hudson. He is a strong force in our city. I focus on other things. I was hoping you and I could have a conversation about my parents. And then we'll kind of jump over to Siddy. Siddy, only you, Julian Sterling with his little Stetson hat coming off again, and Leland Shortson and passed out Glenda in the back. Leland's trying to clean her face up, and he kind of has a Stetson off a little bit over his heart, like country boys do. If you grew up out in the middle of nowhere, you might recognize when men take their hats off and hold them here. No one knows why they do it. I don't get it. They just do. They say, he just looks at you and goes, howdy, ma'am. I did ask your friend to give you a card, but I was just, when Liam said maybe a little escort home just to make sure that you ladies all made it safe, I was hoping we could take the opportunity to just have a little conversation together.
Oh yeah, she gave me the card. I would love to hot dish with you.
Well, all right. I don't know if we have time for that this evening, as we were asked to make sure you ladies get home safely. As it's but I mean, there's a lot of different hot dishes. Let's just see how the night goes, ma'am. I'm not sure exactly. Let's let's go and get you home real quick, if that's all right. And you could just kind of see him visibly blushing, as though maybe he took the I would love to hot dish with you in a different way, and kind of got a little flustered. So we're going to start this stroll in kind of a specific order that I predetermined without dice, because sometimes I do that as a DM. We're going to start with Ami and Seymour. Ami, you are walking next to a very large red dragonborn, as we talked about. I think pretty easily, for people who know D&D, have probably picked up. He's very much a paladin. He has, his big halberd and his great sword kind of off of his back. He wears armor like plate, but he also has kind of robes underneath it with some symbols hanging off. You don't fully recognize them as holy symbols. They look more like house symbols. But when you walk by him, he emits an extremely calming presence. Like, he's not armed. He's not aggressive. He just, this would be a flashback if Jack was around for it, but he just seems to have like that Buddhist monk level of patience in life. And I would say all of you are going to have a little bit of a walk to get to where you live. But I think you probably walk for 10 minutes and just pure silence. And it is not uncomfortable at all. Like, he just feels like as you're around him, it almost just feels like you can relax and just like, I don't mean like you're opening up or anything, but it just feels like when you've had a stressful day and you go home and you like sit in your favorite chair or like flop down on your bed and like hold your favorite pillow or put your favorite blankie on. It's just kind of that feeling. You're like, this is just nice. Like, he's not making you feel pressured at all. And he just kind of strolls and he just says, I'm happy to talk. And I'm also happy to listen, Ami. Whatever you would prefer, you let me know.
Well, first of all, do you prefer to be called Seymour, or do you prefer Sir Buttwipe, or what is your preferred title or naming convention?
Well, if I was at court or with other nobles, we would have to call me by my sir name, but I'd like to believe we're amongst friends, so I think Seymour's fine. I don't have nicknames, so sorry about that.
No,
Not many nicknames come from Seymour.
Well, C, More, Maury, Morcy, Momo, Cece, and she could continue to go on unless he stops her.
Oh, he won't. That's the thing is, okay. He'll just continue to let you talk as long as you want to.
Cece, Momo. I already said that. Mosi, Simo, and she kind of giggles to herself. Is like, this is like the first time that she's had all day to like have a real moment of like calmness, and within that calm, she can feel a little bit like herself, and like because she is outside of all the conspiracy theory and outside of everything else, she does have a very like soft heart to herself. So she'll this little giggle and like well, I guess there's not a whole lot to really come up with. You could call me Ami. My whole name is Amitria, but you could call me Ami. I prefer that, actually.
I appreciate that, Ami. Thank you for letting me call you something that perhaps your friends would call you. Now, yes. I have a feeling that you could use someone to talk to, but also perhaps maybe you and I have more in common than you know. So I thought on your walk home, we could simply take the opportunity to get to know one another better. And I'll let you choose.
I that I would be amenable to that. Although I will say that considering the situation earlier that we were with, I do have a little bit of a trust differential right now. So if you wouldn't mind, you could go first, if that's okay. You could go first. Just I feel like you may know more about me than maybe I necessarily know that you know. So yeah. So would you mind?
Nope, not at all. And do you want to roll like insight? I don't fucking know. Insight. You can investigate. You can insight. You can perception. You're trying to just figure out if he's an honest person or not. Is what you're looking for. Is basically what I'm giving you. Whatever stat you want to use for that, I will give that to you. Because I'm not gonna force that on you.
Just for fun, I can just go with insight because it only gives me a +2. So that'd be a dirty 21.
Nice. You would know, I can tell you insightfully enough, you would probably have a couple of things. One, this Dragonborn does seem genuine. You also know that when paladins take an oath, unless they become an oath breaker, they are very committed to whatever oath they take. And they typically are pretty honest people about things. And you would also, just because it was a high enough roll, I will give you, you would remember that he was in the Wellerman before any of you fighting off the bad guys. And he said when the fight was done that he had sent Mr. Jeremy to go hide and call for help. Like that he rushed in and he's the one who kind of like came in there. And you also notice Everett being comfortable fighting side by side. And you did see that he came up to help everyone. So you would probably at least get the feeling that this gentleman doesn't seem like, he gives you more of the impression that he's probably aligned with a different cause than some other people are in here, that he's probably more aligned with kind of like a good cause, at least who he believes. I mean, he serves someone is kind of his thing for his devotion based off the fact that he's wearing like noble house symbols. So you could tell that he's more of a devoted to his house and that is who he serves and protects. But he'll nod at you and just say, I'm happy to go first. Trust can be hard earned. I can tell you, I don't know what my real name was. When my parents found me, I had been in a fighting ring. I was 13 and we were raised to be fighters, various beasts or things like that. They preferred us who were closer to the dragons, even kobolds, as they found us more entertaining to fight. And it was fights to the death until one day a very nice woman showed up, a human woman. I knew nothing about her, and she brought a group with her, and they shut the whole thing down. Her and then her husband showed up later. They took the time to shut the thing down, brought all of us to an orphanage that they ran, and they spent their time helping everyone find homes. I was an angry child, and I had a tendency to get in a lot of fights, and I was not calm like I am now. That came from getting much older than I was. I spent my time hating them for taking me away from what I knew and blaming them as I watched my friends all go to new places and new homes and be happy. And instead of that, finally one day she asked me to come to her home, and that is where I met my parents, Buford and Margaret Buttwipe. And they are humans, and they adopted me that same day. They adopted me, a dragonborn that was angry and violent and scared most everyone, as even for a dragonborn, I am rather large. And I breathe fire quite aggressively, and that tends to intimidate people. And so I spent years with them, and having never known my original family or why they chose to leave me to the side because I wasn't good enough, I was lucky enough as a teenager to meet my real family. And so after years of, well, making their lives horrible, I finally was able to realize that family isn't often who births us or who creates us, but it's who we find on our own that we care about the most, and those who care about us, and that family never judges you when you're angry, and they don't judge you afterwards. They listen to you, they hear you, and they love you even through all your mistakes. And that is my story. I'm not sure if you know the Butt Wipes. They run the Charmin Initiative. They do a lot of cleanup in the bad parts of town. They're big philanthropists. Buford, especially. Margaret, I think, started them on it. She was big on helping children, and that moved into helping those in the bad parts of town that are places, where people don't know whose blood is on them and how to grow their own vegetables. So it's a rough part of town to be in. We spend a lot of time there. If you're ever free on a Sunday after Temple, we head there together to help out. We're strong and we're soft on me, which is important.
Yeah, I can understand that. Actually, the fact that you mentioned Margaret, I've met her before, because of the initiative. We have done some work. My father was actually very, how do I want to say this? He was very, he liked helping others more than himself, more so. And so he was really big into doing what he could, like to help others, whether it be with any coin or just physicality, because my father was actually full furbolg, so he was fairly large and was really good at his job. So the concept of some of these areas that really needed a lot of attention, he was really good at addressing that. And when I was younger, I would often go with him, and I would see his work. So but in those times, a couple of times I actually met and saw your mother Margaret, and she seemed very, very nice, and very, very caring and concerned, like truly concerned. I don't know how many people. I don't like to assume, because that's like a bad thing. And that's like judging someone, and you don't want to do that, especially by looks. Usually the only judgment you should really do is by actions. And so there's a lot of people in the court areas that have a tendency to do things that look on the surface like they're trying to be kind, but really they're just trying to make themselves look better, and they don't really care about those people. And so but your mom isn't one of them. She definitely actually cared, because I'd seen, like, they had a ribbon cutting one day, and there was just the cutest little dwarf kid. He was playing with just some like sticks. He was just playing with little sticks like they were his toys, and he just kind of accidentally hit some mud, and it got up on the barely the side of a shoe of this one particular person who was visiting that day. And she was pretty much tried to hit him, and your mother actually stopped her from doing that. So I gathered from that she actually really did care, and not about per se her, what this person who is of her standing would think of her, just of, this, rather helpless child. So, because the little people, I mean, like literally physically, and, those who just aren't able to help or do for themselves, you gotta be there and help them. So yeah. Yeah.
And he smiles, like, I feel like Dragonborns, they kind of have the elongated faces a little bit. So it's like you could tell he's smiling, but it looks a little bit like you see it more out of the corner of his mouth. You can almost see that he's maybe had years of like training to not look scary. And that might be part of why he's kind of a little more calm in life, is so cause he is, like I said, he is a big dude. And he could be intimidating, and he just kind of nods and gives a little bit of a smile and says, I'm always reminded how proud I am that I have the mother I have. And it is quite obvious that my parents are not my biological parents, as two humans do not have one of these, if you will. There was never a time that she or my father would permit people to speak ill of me. And there's never a time that they have cared about someone's class or standing. So I do hope that there is a time that you and I find ourselves where we can talk again more, because I think hopefully as you continue to grow in life, you'll find more family in all sorts of places you go. And remember that sometimes family is for days, sometimes families for years, and sometimes families for life. And family is always valuable to have. And if someone ever makes you feel bad about being you, then they might not be the family you want, and that's okay. And I think about that kind of time you walk up to, let's say like your gate. I'm going to assume that everyone has little gates or fences, but if you would like to describe what your home is like, because he kind of escorts you there just very calmly. And he most of the time has like his hands behind his back, not in that like I'm holding myself back, but you know, some people just seem to comfortably walk with like their hand. And it's like, why? That looks weird. Doesn't look weird on him. He looks cozy doing it, but he kind of walks you there. And if you have a gate, he'll kind of open it for you and just give you like a genuine kind of smile and nod of just this nice, relaxed, kind of large dragonborn presence that is Seymour Buttwipe, our beloved paladin NPC, I guess, at this point. Fuck these names. Sorry. What does your house look like, Ami? What does Ami's house look like? Tell us about it.
Well, she has, it's very basic, but it's nice and it's well done. It's, she's got just a nice wooden fence around that. It's more so for, denoting that this is her area than it is anything, like she doesn't have like iron or anything like that. It's more like wood based, because, you know, the Furbolgen are, you know, there's a lot of still going back to the earth, having nature being involved in that. Her front yard isn't exactly grown over, but it would not be seen in like House Beautiful or Lawn and Gardens or anything like that. There's a lot of flowers. Of course, it's at night, so there's not a whole lot that are blooming, but there are some night flowers that are blooming because, again, she does love nature. And there's one tree that's like an oak tree that is fairly old, and actually that was her, like the sign to her to buy this place. And she actually doesn't live over her shop. Her shop is in another location because she wanted to have a designated separate location for her work and for her home. Just for one, because her, you know, it's one of those things, don't take your work home with you. And also it's an area for her to, you know, figure out figure out things, you know, not exactly. She doesn't have a quote unquote Charlie Day board, but she does have a lot of things that notes and things that she has. So, as they would approach, they would see it's just very basic that, it looks like it's like a one story house. There's like one major window in the front, and then there's a smaller one to the right of the door. I drew because this is how I work.
I love it.
So she would actually, as he would letting her in, she would say, Seymour, if you wouldn't mind, I've enjoyed our talk. I don't know if you have other duties that you have to attend to for this evening. But it's been a very long day, and I could really use a cup of tea. I have several different beautiful concoctions, I guess I should say, that I've gotten from some of the local markets. And it would just be nice to maybe sit and chat.
He will kind of give you another smile and nod his head and say, Ami, this is something that I would deeply enjoy, but by my oath, I would ask that we enjoy tea together in public first, as I would not want people to be of the assumption that I entered your house unduly or unjustly. I apologize.
No, I certainly understand. If you want, I could pull out a couple chairs and we could sit here on the porch, because there is a porch. It's honestly, it's just a front porch, your basic front porch. And she offers that.
Yeah, he'll agree to that. He'll just say I could stay on the porch. I think that would be respectable and okay, and I'd be happy to sit here and visit for a while longer. I will wait out here for you while you go inside, and he will kind of let you go inside to start working on some tea. And then he'll.
I was going to say, and then immediately when Charlie gets inside, she's just like, "Oh my God,
Charlie!"
Because she's got like all these different like stuff spread around, like of all her like papers and stuff that she had been looking at. So she's really kind of glad that he said no.
Doesn't see that. So, yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll wait for you on the porch. And I want to like add for Seymour as well. Like, he's not insanely old. Like he comes off the impression like an old person, but Seymour is like also kind of a younger adult for a dragonborn as well. Maybe a little bit older, probably closer to like Charlie's age. Like not right outside of being a teen into adulthood, but he's also young based off the fact that he has human parents who are still living. He cannot be that old or they would be dead. So yeah, the two of you will be able to have tea, and then you'll be able to go back inside to get ready for bed for the night. We are going to pop on over to Siddy and Mr. Tall Glass of Water, tight buns himself, Julian Sterling. He walks you through the city. And like I said earlier, it's a bit cold outside. It is not warm like it was earlier. Night has fallen, like it is kind of chilly. And so he, like the first thing he does is he's like, ma'am, could I carry anything for you or offer you my jacket by chance? It is a little bit chilly out here.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. I'm used to the cold. My family comes from more up north, but if you want, aren't you cold? I could wear your jacket, or you could wear your jacket, or I know we can't wear your jacket together, but she is flustered.
He's gonna say, well, how about this? Why don't you let me take your basket of your things, your herbs and spices you bought there? Because you're still carrying that basket around, mind you. Don't forget that you got from Charlie's shop. And I'll give you my jacket. And if I end up too cold, I'll let you know. And then we'll kind of go from there. And he gives you like his, like I said, he has like that Stetson hat that he keeps on. And like the jacket is kind of like one of those, I think of it more like a leather jacket, but like the Indiana Jones style kind of leather jacket. That's kind of the vibe we're going for. And he'll carry I know that you said you were hiding a Tupperware thing. Where did you hide it? I just want to ask before we go through that. He is not going to search your stuff. I just remember last time you were thinking where you were going to hide it. Did you figure that out?
Yeah, that's in her tote, but like she is going to carry her tote because that's like that's like carrying your purse. Like she's not going to give her tote over.
You have to trust someone to carry your purse. No, he'll carry your thing. And you notice he doesn't seem cold at all. Like he seems pretty comfortable in every way, shape, or form. He is wearing kind of like a thick shirt underneath, like a kind of a closer. It's not exactly a flannel, but that kind of material, if that makes sense. So he doesn't look like he's freezing or anything. And he'll walk with you. And he is not as awkward as Siddy is in any way, shape, or form, but he's not much less awkward by any means. So I feel like there's quite a few times that he tries to start up a conversation and then kind of just like no, shakes his head like this isn't the way to, like he starts to talk and he's like, I don't do that. And he keeps trying to get something fired up, but it's like he's worried or going to stumble on his words. So he just kind of, and I was like that repeatedly and just kind of finally looks over. And I imagine this is right when Siddy is going to say something. So they talk at the exact same time. Yep. And he's just like, I really think we'd be good if we went out to dinner together. And he just kind of like word vomits that at you. And it's like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that like that. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
I would love that. I had a very, very long day with all these highs and lows, and I lost one of the few people that I really confided in over the past 5 years. And so just having some sort of bright spot today would be exceptional.
He's gonna kind of look down for a second and be like, I'm so sorry, Siddy, I probably shouldn't have that was rude of me. You've had a rough day, and here I am trying to get you to go out to dinner with me. I apologize. I shouldn't have asked you that. I should have just let you have the time to call me when you were ready. And I'm not trying to force things on you. I'm real sorry.
Well, I love somebody who takes the initiative. I definitely know that the past is the past, but if some of the people in the past had half the initiative you did now, I would be in a much better position, but I would love to go out.
All right. Well, let me tell you about the place I was thinking about. And Siddy, you don't even have to roll for this, because the place he was thinking about is your place before the cataclysm. And he lets you know that this storefront just opened up again. And he's describing basically yours and Granny Tia's kind of little storefront restaurant is where he's asked you to go, because he heard it reopened and they make the best hot dish he's ever had. And he asked you to go there.
Well, the one with the glass fish in the window? That's my granny's place.
Oh, wait. Are you... Did we decide, I'm going to ask out of character, did we decide what the name of Siddy's little... Because Granny got this for you. So did Siddy have a name of her previous restaurant? I don't know if we've gone over that in-game. I think Granny would have named it the same thing that you'd had your restaurant kind of named before, something close.
We didn't go over it, but it would be like the tuna skull. SKOL.
I love it. SKO, tuna skull. Very Viking in a way. Yes. And he's going to kind of sit there and take a pause for a second and go, I mean, that's your restaurant. I do not want to imply anything unjust or untowards to you, but the place I used to go to, a married woman owned it. Are you, Miss Obsidian, are you married?
Not anymore. As I said before, if the man that I had been with had half the initiative you do, then things would be a lot different. But alas, he was always at disadvantage.
Well, I can tell you without even any thought into it, it sounds like it's his loss to not be around a lady like you. And I gave you my Motorola Sending Stone. That's my personal one I wrote on the back there. So whenever you feel like you've had some time to rest up and you're feeling good, we should maybe arrange it. We don't have to go to your restaurant. I don't want you to cook for me. That's not what I'm asking for. We could go anywhere else. I could cook for you. I make some pretty good stews myself. I'm also not bad with chilies, and I've been known to make a pretty good spaghetti, to be honest with you. Well, so I'm happy to cook for you too.
I would love to cook for you.
And I think he kind of does this. He kind of looks down and you almost see the version of a happy dance that he's trying to hide in the weirdest way. And he's kind of doing the arm pump, I got this. And about that time, you're able to kind of start getting up to your fence. Yeah. And he kind of gets you up to, you and Granny have a cottage. You had a bit of a walk to get there. And he kind of smiles and tips his hat again. And once again, has it back over his heart, because that's, I guess, where we hold our hats. Someone hopefully in chat has explained why that's done. I just think of every Western. And I've grown up in the country. I do not know a single man, unless it's for the Pledge of Allegiance or a parade for the military. I never see it, but all the time in movies they do it. So he kind of sits there and gives you a nod, and he's like, well then, Miss Siddy, I'll let you go on and get yourself inside. Here's your basket. Did you want me to sit it in? I don't want to enter your house. That'd be pretty rude. And I'm not trying to be presumptuous about anything, but And as he's trying to talk to you, the door flies open and you hear, "Oh my goodness, Siddy, how are you so late? Liam told me that you would have been home hours ago and here, and oh my goodness, who is this man with you?" And she just kind of looks right at Julie, and Granny T is just there in like her night robe. She's got her hair curlers in, like she's got her bonnet on top of it and everything. And she's got like her robe wrapped around her. And she's like, "Oh goodness, I'm so sorry, young man. I didn't mean to come out in such little clothing." He's like, "Oh no, ma'am, I'm so sorry." And like starts turning his head to like not like make contact as she's in her nightie and she's kind of wrapped up. And she's like, "Oh, Siddy, and you're going to have to tell me what you've been out so late doing with this young gentleman. That is much different than the gentleman I saw earlier today. Oh my. I'm excited for these. These might be better than our normal shows." So he will not run away by any means, but he is kind of looking down because he's not trying to stare Granny T up and down or anything like that. And she's just sitting there smiling, like a very big ear-to-ear smile that she wants all of the gossip right now. And she just is like ready and waiting.
Well, it's been a long night, and Granny and I should go to bed, and I will definitely call you about that hot dish. Either I'll make it, or Granny will make it, or we will get something sorted. And she's trying to shoo her grandma into the house. It's like,
and Granny, very much in the Rose from Golden Girls style way, like leans her head around you and is like, "Oh yeah, we would love to both cook for you, and then you could sit at the table with both of us, and we can all just chat. That'd be a great time." Yeah. "Oh yeah," and he's like, "All right, Miss Siddy, thank you," and you kind of like start to get the door closed so you can push Granny in as she's trying to get back, and you're able to turn and look through, like if your door has like a little window or anything, and look and see that he started walking away. And it's about that time that you realize, as he's kind of turned out of the yard and is headed down, that you are still wearing Mr. Julian Sterling's jacket that he never got back, but he did give you your shopping cart or your shopping basket. So you're now there. Granny T is happy that you're home. You two will be able to kind of discuss the night. I won't make you RP everything you've been through again because you don't need to do that, but she's happy to see you. She does tell you that, "Oh, Mr. Liam Hudson was just a nice gentleman. Him and his friends helped me hand out all of the food. They got me right home. They made sure I had a nice dinner. And he said that, there's been a lot of crime going on in the city, and he'd make sure that you were home safe tonight. And I'll be honest with you, that one right there might be a taller drink of water than he is. I'm not sure which one looks better, but I'll tell you what, they both definitely look good walking away now, Siddy. And that's the best thing about him, isn't it?"
All of this goes like just washes over Siddy. She just turns and she starts crying and just slides down the door. And she's like, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Lemmy's dead. She was killed by a group of people. And you know how much I confided in Lemmy about the past 5 years. And then that's why we ran, because we were scared. And then we found you. But then they were looking for us, and we didn't want to get you involved, so we ran again. And that's, I didn't get a chance to tell you where I was going. I tried to call you, and she's just shaking. And
she bends down and like gets in a hug with you, and Granny T is kind of tiny, so she doesn't slide out. It's more like she bends over and starts hugging. She's like, "Oh, honey, I would never judge you for anything like that. Mr. Hudson told me everything that had been happening, and he said that he was going to make sure all you gals were right, that the and I hate to say it because I feel like this is kind of almost blasphemous for me to say, but he said that the special wizard unit is not always right with who they get, and that maybe our shows are a little bit exaggerated. And I don't really know how I feel about that, but he promised that he would be getting home safe. And he said that you didn't do anything wrong, and that you girls were just really scared. And in all honesty, Siddy, I feel like maybe I haven't been the best grandma that you deserve, because I didn't even realize that you were scared when you left the shop. And I'm just real sorry that I wasn't there to help when I should have been. And then now Granny Tia is just like bawling on you. And she's like, I just love you so much. And I want you to always be safe and never worry about anything. And I should have known. I should have known when you left. I should have just followed you. I should have known something was wrong. It's not like you to run and your poor friends and you lost someone special today. And just, oh, what a terrible day. I made us some tea and I made you your favorite special drink that helps you sleep. And I made an extra pie. I sent Mr. Hudson with the pie for you. Did you get any of the pie I sent?
Yes, I did.
Sniffles.
Yes, I got the pie. He really seemed to like it. I think he definitely had seconds.
Oh, I mean, he ate like a whole entire pie when he was at the store. That boy can eat, I'll tell you that much. All right, now listen up. We're strong women, and we don't sit here and we don't cry over things, unless we break our souffles. That's the only thing we're allowed to cry for when that happens. So let's go and get up and let's get you all taken care of and in some nice comfy clothes and get your hair in rollers if you want, and we'll get you ready for bed and we can just sit and talk with one another for a while and just discuss everything that happened, because it's time for you to get that off your chest.
Yeah.
And she will help you up if you allow her to. Again won't go through your stuff. She will probably notice the basket of items you picked up and get pretty excited about all the things that you grabbed from Charlie's shop. And then she'll take you in and kind of help you get ready for bed if you want, and help your hair get in rollers, and just kind of spend a night where you two can sit on the couch and drink tea or milk or whiskey or whatever y'all drink when you need some time, if you know, and you need some hot toddies to unwind too. And you two will be able to chat and kind of get a rest. And also you do have this nice, lovely leather jacket now that smells like a man's man. I don't really know. Like, I'm trying to think of what smell like we're thinking of. I think of, this is like a really weird pool. My dad was like a superintendent and all these things, and he, was out in the, like, working in the field all the time. When he and my mom would go out, the cologne he wore was this like Gucci cologne for men. And it just has like this really nice smell that's just like a comforting smell, but it's not overpowering. I imagine it's something like that. Like it's something that a guy would wear without trying to like Axe body spray himself. So it smells good without like hurting your nostrils.
It's like oud and cedar, like very earthy.
Yeah. I like that. I think that's perfect. So you are welcome to keep that coat on as long as you want. We're going to pop over to Everett, and we don't know yet what Liam Hudson is to Everett at this point in life, but you two actually left first. And so as you get about a block away, he'll be like, right, did you actually want to walk there? Would you like me just to get us a ride really quick, or maybe just zip us over there?
You know what? I'm all for zipping. Zipping sounds fabulous.
Doesn't it just? And as soon as he finishes speaking, you just kind of like pop right over by your front door. And he's like, of course I knew where you lived. As I said, it took me quite some time to realize you were you, but I've been following everyone in therapy for a while. And the tricky part is not realizing that you've gotten quite good about when you change. You wait to do that until no one is around. And I didn't realize things. However, recently I did find your home. It is quite lovely, by the way. And I would like to ask, I know that you are probably quite convinced at this point that I'm either insane or I'm a terrible person. I know your friends think that, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give a fuck about your friends. I care about you. And I just want you to know, no matter what you realize, you truly are missing your full potential. There is much more to you that you have yet to realize, and I hope that you're able to find that, whether you choose to do it in whatever way. You were always much more than just someone who had to run around surviving. You were never just needing to survive. You were always able to do so much more than that, and I hope that you believe me when I say I would really like to help you get there. And I would also like to take you to a real dinner, not one that involves a deal, not one that is us playing tit for tat or having some weird conversation or me contemplating whether or not I murder your friend and then torture her for 100 years that you all think is only a minute and then bring her back to life. possibly to do it again a few times. But I would like for us just to have a dinner without your friends involved because they're fucking insane. I don't know what's wrong with them. They are insane. Just an actual dinner to where maybe if you spend time with me, you might start remembering things that you don't remember from before. And you don't have to. I'm not going to be offended if you say no. I've been nothing but kind of a suspicious asshole recently, but it's your choice.
I'm so sorry. Addie's flipping out. Give me 1 second. That was so dramatic, and then she barked.
Actually, I think Addie barking right then was the perfect time because Addie was saying, hey, this is the time that we bark. This is the time we let everyone know. And I can also share with everyone, I've gotten myself at such a lean in my chair. I don't know how I pulled it off, but I'm really comfortable. But yes, he will offer that to you. So,
Everett will say, I don't think you're insane. I believe everything that you have told me today and tonight. And I think you know me well enough from what you say that even if I did think you were insane, the idea that you know something about me that I've been trying to find for 5 years is far too tantalizing a concept to turn you down. So, regardless of my motivations, I would love to have dinner with you.
Reminds me of when we first met. Sounds wonderful. The only reason we began spending time together was because we could benefit from one another, and it turned into something so wonderful. And I'll kind of bend over and give you like the kiss on the cheek, not with his lips, but like where people put like their cheek to cheek and kind of make like the kiss sound or whatever and say, I know you don't need me to get in safe, so get yourself home safe. And I want you to know what you learn tomorrow. It had nothing to do with me. I simply chose to not stop it. And I hope you still choose to believe me on that. And then he really looks at you, and you can roll on this, but he generally looks like actually kind of sad. But if you want to roll like insight investigation to see kind of where you're at on this, where you kind of fall on if you believe him or not.
That's going to be a 21 investigation.
You do believe that he genuinely didn't have anything to do with this. You also are fully aware that he could stop whatever you're going to learn about, and he chose not to. And he kind of smiles at you and just like gives you one more look and just says, there's always consequences for our action, love. And then he just, like the asshole he is, pops through a dimension door and just poofs off away from you. And before we jump over to Charlie, why doesn't Everett tell us what Everett's house looks like? Because nobody in the party knows anything really about Everett and Everett's to-do.
Yep. So as Sam said, Everett lives in the very nice part of town. She does live in kind of an, for the place that she lives in, it's a pretty unassuming townhome. She just, because Everett tries to fly under the radar. But yeah, very, very well manicured front garden. If you look really closely, the door is like triple locked and reinforced, and as are all the windows because she's a paranoid motherfucker, clearly for reasons. And I'm assuming we're in like an alleyway, or we were in an alleyway. So she will transform into an elderly looking human man. Think old Bilbo in the third Lord of the Rings, so like kind of Ian Holme. And she will make her way up to her door and let herself in. Well, he will walk up to his door and let himself in.
That's perfect. And he is able to do this. No one is there to bother you. You will be able to go in your home, be able to get some sleep, so on and so forth. So far, we've had lots of fun, excitement, and safe things for the evening. So we will jump to Charlie, who is having the safest walk home with a man who we don't know what he can or can't understand about ghosts, but you have 3 different ghosts that you are hearing as you are trying to walk with Lukewarm, as you have Fred and Drick who are trying to get a rise out of you, and you randomly see them jump in front of like Lukewarm's face and kind of talk trash to them. You can understand everything they are saying now because someone has gifted you the ability to understand what they are saying. So you speak Undercommon and you understand everything that they are saying, and it is frustrating. And you once again remember how nice it was when they were not to be heard in that bar. You might even think about a necklace that every now and again makes things good. And you are also dealing with a Morty who is being Morty because there's 2 creepy, dead, missing-eyed Nothics like messing with you and him and Lukewarm. And as you kind of walk through all of this, like Lukewarm is talking probably a little bit louder than you think he needs to, but you could make the assumption that it's because he hears something, but he hasn't said what it is. And he's just going to be like, all right, listen, I only offered to walk you home because evidently you see some weird shit or hear some weird shit. You ask me if I can deal with weird shit or see weird shit, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just sometimes go in crime scenes and it's just like loud, or I hear certain phrases or voices and I can't get it to fucking stop. It happened. I'd never had it before in my life. And then the fucking cataclysm happened. And ever since that happened, it's just something that fucking gets to me. And I think I'm going crazy. And then I meet you and you evidently seem to have the same problem. So do you know what it is? Because it's hard to keep my job and keep the others not thinking I'm crazy when I'm randomly hearing someone yelling about tight buns or tall drinks of water or things like that. He's like, I think I'm losing my mind.
I mean, it sounds like you can hear my friends here, which are ghosts. You can hear ghosts.
He's just going to kind of like do a little head shake and be like, nope, don't want that to be what it is. I don't want that to be it at all. I think I'd rather be going fucking insane.
Join the club. I mean, I didn't ask for it either, but it happened.
Wait, when did you start here? You've heard him your whole life? You just woke up knowing ghosts forever?
No, you said it happened for you at the cataclysm? Like, right after that?
Yeah, all of us were pretty close on site because we were trying to make our way there while everything was happening, and we were blown back from it. And then I hit my head, and when I woke up, I could hear things. And I'm like, ever since then, did you hit your head? Maybe we don't see anything and we just fucking hit our heads really hard.
No, I did not hit my head. Mine is a little bit of a different experience, but it did start after the cataclysm, yes.
I'm just going to kind of stare off, like almost like blankly, like the person has just been like, fuck me. Like I don't know, the shit I'm pregnant look, or should I knock someone up look, where people are just like, you just die for about 30 seconds inside. You know, I don't know. I'm making weird pulls tonight. I'm trying to stay out of 80s movies as people don't get them. Leave me alone. Okay. But he kind of does that like look for a second. He's like, I don't know. I'm not going to call you crazy, but I don't think I'm ready to accept that. I'm going to have to think about it. Can't fucking do my job and walk around hearing ghosts. No one would believe in that. That's not how shit works. You don't just have ghosts that you magically hear every now and again. That's insane.
Have you ever seen anything, or have you just heard something?
I just hear things. Like whatever the fuck that is. And he's like waves his hand at like buzzing, as you kind of see him like waving his hand through like Fred and Drick, who've just been like talking shit in his face that he can't really quite. And you just see him like trying to buzz it off. And he's like, do you hear it right now? Whatever that fucking noise is.
Yeah, that's the annoying 2 pests I just inherited. They're the Nothics that we killed, and they're haunting me. Not necessarily you, they're just being dicks right now. Get off of him, Fred and Drick. Like, get off him.
And Morty like tries to be brave, and he's like, yes, you heard Charlie. You get off of them, Fred and Drick. You can't mess with Lukewarm. He might not have the buns we're looking for, but he deserves better. They absolutely ignore Morty in every way, shape, or form. They kind of stare at him for a second with like a bit of a mean glare. And then Morty kind of like, you feel him shrink back behind you, and they look at you and they kind of like swarm over your way to start like chittering above you again and doing like the, oh, it looks like we're gonna have big spoon, little spoon, who's gonna be in the middle? Bet it's Charlie. La 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 la.
You ain't getting my spoon. No, get out of here.
I love that. And so Lukewarm will be like, all right, thank you. Look, that's a lot of shit to take in, like a lot. And you guys have kind of made it to like the back of your shop, right? Like the back of your magic shop. And he's going to be like, I'm not trying to be rude, but if these fucking things are haunting you, maybe if I just get the hell away from you, I won't have to hear them for a while. I just want to test it. And he'll slip you a business card and I'll be like, but I wouldn't mind talking more. Do you have like a card or anything that I can contact you on? Do you have a ghost messenger? How do you keep in touch with people?
I mean, yes, and yes. And I would assume that Charlie does have a business card at this point, because it's
so would Ami. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of you have business cards for your various business ventures that you have. You would all, I don't think it's uncommon to have it. Really? You don't think so up there, Everett? Interesting. Okay.
Well, I do.
Yep. Charlie would have one. I believe so. Yeah. Just like Ami would have one for construction agency and like Siddy for catering, or now like the restaurant and stuff. Like you would have a way to give people your fucking phone number. It's not weird to do that. Yes. I'm on board.
Yes. Here is my card. Look, don't come in, like, out of the blue, because Volty will fuck you up, but just come in normal business hours and you'll be fine.
I'll call you first. I'm not trying to sound weird, but like we can't really be seen running around with you ladies that much, because while we're not allowed to mess with you for a criminal investigation, as it's been stated that you're not involved and you've got a really good attorney, until we know you're fully cleared, I want to be careful, but I was thinking I could probably give you a call and maybe we'll talk. Anyways, you're home. I'm sorry. I can't deal with the sound anymore. My wife's going to be pissed at me. It's so late. And I'll like reach out to shake your hand, just like a normal handshake.
I totally get it. And yes, I'm here to talk when you're ready. And she shakes his hand back.
All right. And he'll kind of give you a nod, and then he'll turn and kind of like start heading off, and you still see him like shaking his head and kind of be like, this fucking crazy. I don't even fucking know what's going on. And he kind of mumbles that as you walk away. And then you're about to enter your shop. Do you say anything before you enter your shop?
Yes.
What do you say? Pancake.
I say pancake.
All right. You enter in and you see Volty sitting in that place Volty doesn't normally sit at. She's just kind of sitting back behind like where your little cash register is. Like, and I imagine on like a stool or whatever. And she's just kind of sitting there, and she looks like different than normal. Like she looks fucking sad, and is just kind of hanging her head down. Is like, hey, Charlie, I heard pancake, so I didn't get up. I just kind of figured that it'd just be you and that.
I mean, are you all right? What's going on?
It's nothing, Charlie. It's just, sometimes things end up a little bit different than we planned, and I just got to make sure that the store is taken care of and everything, and guard stuff. So I'm down here just making sure I'm gonna guard stuff. I don't think we're gonna be able to do bedtime stories tonight, though, Charlie. I'm sorry. Maybe tomorrow.
She's just gonna stand there and stare at her and be like,
she still kind of has her head down, and you've noticed that Morty is like making his way up to his laboratory, because it's Morty in his laboratory. And it's that point that you just hear like the most god awful Morty scream of all time. And he's just like, oh my God, Charlie, please come up here now. And it is just like a horrendous sound. And like Volty doesn't even move. And he's just like, Charlie, hurry now.
Okay. Volty, I know something's still wrong, but I gotta deal with some up in the lab.
It's okay. I'll be around. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You go and get yourself in.
I still want to talk and I still want to do bedtime story, all right? Everything's going to be okay. And
Okay.
she goes up the stairs.
And as you make it up the stairs into your first level, you see Morty staring into what was once a simple room for a little goblin, and laying on the bed is a ghost bump story that is covered in blood as you see Volty's mutilated body strewn all across the room and blood all over the walls. And that is where we're going to end our first session.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you for tuning into Good Plans, Bad Dice. This series stars Sassypants as Ametria, Ami, Bella Chathorn, Mossgrove, Squishy Werewolf as Obsidian, Siddy, Schmidt, Tricky for Life 01 as Charlie Blackwood, Weird is All I've Got as Everett, and lurkingSam as the Dungeon Master. Good Plans, Bad Dice would like to thank Squishy Werewolf for the artwork. Our music is provided by No Copyright Songs. The track is Help Me, Help You by Shia Maisel and Clarks, and can be found at ncs.io or at their NCS YouTube channel. Thank you again for listening. Be sure to check us out live on Twitch Friday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time or on video on demand after the live broadcast.